Welcome back, America. It's Hugh Hewitt. Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas joins me. Good morning, Senator. How are you?
Good morning, Hugh. It's good to be on with you, and I've been listening this morning. I want to say hello and greetings to all of our friends at Fort Campbell and in Clarksville, who are working with and around and supporting the 101st Airborne.
Were you ever stationed there?
I was. That was my main unit in the Army, straight out of Fort Benning and then straight to Iraq with 506 Infantry Regiment. Currently stands alone, Hugh.
Stands alone. That is terrific. I'm so, I love the people of Clarksville, but when they told me you're covering the people going to work on Fort Campbell, I got very excited, so that's neat. Senator, I want to ask you about a somewhat obscure topic, but you may know something about it. The Chamber of Commerce supposedly represents American Main Street businesses. It's gone off the rails. It's gone left. Have you followed this? Do you have a comment on it?
Yeah, Hugh, I have. Since we're talking about my old days in the Army, back in Iraq and Afghanistan, it was pretty common to hear sergeant majors who were out on the front line worry about the growing size of bases that had, entertainment theaters and gyms and Baskin-Robbins, and they would say, this place is a self-licking ice cream cone. It only exists to serve and perpetuate itself. And the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has become a self-licking ice cream cone. As far as I can tell, it mostly just exists to continue to pay the lavish salaries of its executives and give them expense accounts for fancy meals and fund their private jet travel to their luxury condos in South Florida. I mean, the Democrats have humiliated the chamber in recent years. Neera Tanden had a history of viciously attacking the Chamber of Commerce as recently as last year, not going back a decade, and they still endorsed her for Office of Management and Budget. Or just last year, the chamber endorsed several liberal Democrats for Congress. And all those liberal Democrats turned around last week, and every single one of them voted for Nancy Pelosi's radical union bill. And, I'm not aware of any Republicans who really listen to what the chamber has to say anymore. I mean, the Chamber of Commerce long ago purged most, if not all of its real Republicans at the top ranks.
That's what happened last year. They got rid of Bob Dole's long-term right-hand man. They purged the Republicans from the Chamber of Commerce. The woke people took over the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, and that's Scott Reed, and he'd been there forever, smart Republican strategist, and they purged him. And then also, since you raised Hugh, they often serve, too, as just a front service for woke corporations who are trying to peddle anti-American theories and demanding that their employees get re-educated and indoctrinated on anti-American ideas, like the fact that somehow we're all terribly racist or every one of our institutions is racist and we all need to go to re-education camps. And the chamber helps launder those claims to maintain what they think will be political respectability among the liberals and the media and the Democrats in Washington. Now, this is in contrast, of course, Hugh, to our local chambers. We have local chambers all across Arkansas, and I have great relationships with them, and they work hard to try to bring businesses into their communities and integrate new folks who are coming in, whether they're school teachers or business executives or union leaders or what have you. Those local chambers are all integral parts of their communities. They fund T-ball, they fund soccer leagues, and so forth. But the Chamber of Commerce in Washington long ago lost its way and just has very little influence left in Congress.
Now, that can be changed, but it would require, I believe, the state chambers to revolt. I think they need a new leader. I mean, I think they got to clean the C-suite out because it's woke, and woke capitalism isn't capitalism. It is driving down shareholder value by forcing decisions on boards that are not made in the best interest of the shareholders, but are made in the best interest of the woke agenda. Do you hear, for example, from the Arkansas State Chamber that they need change in D.C.?
Well, we have a very good relationship with our state chamber as well. And again, the state chambers are more like their local chambers, focused on our state in Arkansas, trying to recruit more businesses, trying to work with our legislature to make Arkansas an even more business-friendly environment than it already is. I think a lot of that change at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, though, doesn't come from local and from state chambers. It comes from their big donors. And a lot of these are some of the biggest corporations in the world who sometimes see the chamber as a useful front organization when they want to push some agenda in Washington. But even those organizations, I think, are increasingly going off to their own industries, trade associations, or just striking out on their own path.
Bureaucratic capture is a real thing. So is trade group capture. The chamber used to represent business. Who does it now? Who comes in and, if they have no influence with the Republicans, who does?
Well, one of the organizations with which I've worked most closely over my time in Congress is the NFIB, the National Federation of Independent Business that is truly the mom and pop organization, not giant multinational corporations, but the dry cleaner owner or the carpenter or the restaurant owner and so on. The NFIB is the organization in Washington, in my experience, that speaks most to small business and to being in favor of free enterprise and being in favor of market economics. Oftentimes the chamber is captured by its biggest multinational corporations, and they are more in support of those businesses than they are in support of open and competitive markets.
100%. Job Creators Alliance is also springing up. There are some new groups, but I just wish the state chambers would revolt. They can fire these people. They can cut off the donations, and Tom Cotton, you've given them proof that that's what they ought to do. I appreciate it, Senator. Have a great week.